Hey guys, Kaylee here. So I missed Vlogmas yesterday, and it's not because I didn't film it, it's because I filmed it and then I started it uploading and I went to sleep and it failed. So I woke up in the morning like, oh yay, I'll have comments, and I saw that my video had instead failed. I'm sorry, but that's what happened. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer the last like 10 questions that I have here, and then hopefully I'll have a tutorial for you guys sometime soon. Maybe not tomorrow because I don't think I'll have time to edit it tomorrow, but maybe Friday. Well, we're going to shoot for a makeup tutorial soon because I really want to do one, just about as much as you guys want to see one. But yeah, okay. And some people have said that I missed answering their question, but if it's a beauty related question, I think almost all of those were ones that I needed to do a tutorial on and that weren't going to fit in a video like this. So don't worry, I will still get to them. Yes, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and answer questions. When you were younger, and I've already recorded this once, but I'm going to do it again. When you were younger, did you see yourself on YouTube? No, partially because YouTube wasn't around until I was 14 or 15, so that definitely had a lot to do with it. Although if you ask me when I was a teenager if I saw myself like doing content for YouTube or anything like that, then I probably, or not YouTube, but the internet, I probably would have said yes because I've always been an internet nerd. Like the do-it-yourself side of the internet was always my thing. I taught myself HTML and CSS so I can make codes for MySpace and Zanga back in the day. I don't know if you guys know what those are, but I did that. So yeah, it doesn't really surprise me that I ended up like making content for the internet, but the subject matter and the venue is a little bit funny to me. And that it would be kind of like a job is definitely not something that I would have ever thought would happen. Sorry if I keep looking over here. I'm trying to check myself in the viewfinder to make sure I'm in frame, because that would be no fun to be watching this the whole time. Anyway, okay, next question. Have you ever been to Europe / do you know Germany? I've never been to Europe, and I'm assuming the do you know Germany is have you ever been to Germany? And I've never been to Germany. I was there for a night. Like, a flight laid over and I was there for a night, but that doesn't really count, does it? So I've never been. I really want to go, but I've never been to Europe. Next question. What are some of the most interesting theorists, philosophers, or books that you've read? Funny thing is, I spent 10 minutes answering this on my last video, so I'm not going to do that again. I mean, there's been a lot of interesting ones, and I don't really know how to take that answer because I think all of them have been interesting in their own right. I'm going to answer this as ones that I think were good and were fun, but are still easy enough that if you're only dabbling in philosophy and you're not really looking to get like really intense with it, you could do. So Plato, just about anything by Plato is pretty easy, but the Symposium is probably a really good one, especially if you're a girl, because it deals with the question of what is love, and it kind of comes up with like 4 or 5 different answers throughout the whole little short story, or not even, it's a short dialogue. And it's really, really interesting, and it's a really easy read, and it's fun to say that you've read it. It makes you sound a little bit smart. Moving on from there, I love Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. Again, it's a good way to start thinking about it, even though I don't love his ethical system in that book. I do really, I like it for helping people to get started on thinking. Then, I like Pascal. Pascal's really good. You hear him quoted quite often in pop culture, I think because his ideas and a lot of things that he says about the human predicament are very applicable to where our culture is at right now. So I really enjoy him. Pascal's Pensées, I think I might be saying that right. Penses. Yeah. Anyway, that one was really good. That one's a little bit tougher to wade through, but when you get stuff from that, you really get stuff from that. And I just really like him. And then my last one that I said, and this is condensing my 10-minute long thing to like a minute. The last one that I said was The Plague by Camus. That's actually a novel, but it does bring up a lot of really interesting questions, again, about the human predicament, a little bit of existential questions, like why are we here, what is our meaning, what is our purpose, and it's also dealing with the question of evil in the world, why does bad things happen to good people, and things like that. So it brings up a lot of interesting questions, and it deals with a lot of interesting subject matter. It's a good conversation piece, and it's a really fun read too, because, well, I mean, not like fun because it's about like people dying, but fun in that it gives you a lot of stuff to chew on mentally. I think the other person that I said was Nietzsche. Even though I don't agree with Nietzsche, I think his ideas are so in vogue that if you are interested in dabbling in philosophy, you need to be familiar with what he says. So yeah, okay, that was my short little thing about that. So, okay, moving on. Have you always been a girly girl? Or did that happen at some point? If so, then when and why, and how did your family and friends react? I still don't think I'm a girly girl, mostly because I think of girly girls being like, oh my gosh, like, so my hair is really pretty today because I like use the straightener. Like, I'm number one, I don't talk like that. And I think I just put a lot more thought into everything that I do than a typical like girly girl would. Like, I'm interested in feminine things, but I don't think I'm a girly girl. Anyway, that disclaimer aside, there was a specific point when I started implementing the whole girly side of things. Like, I'd always wanted to be stylish, I'd always wanted to do my makeup well, I'd always wanted to do my hair well, but I didn't always know how, and I was a little bit afraid because I knew that if I suddenly changed into doing that, people were going to notice and point it out, and I just kind of didn't want that. But I kind of grew up a little bit and just was okay with it. It happened probably in college. Yeah, it started in college, and it was just, I think, as I grew up and as I was doing things for myself, God bless you.
Sorry.
It's okay, that was my sister Jill. Anyway, it was just something that happened as I grew up and something that as I became more comfortable with myself that I was just more okay with doing, so, yeah. And my family and friends were great about it. Like, people would point out that I was different, but everybody liked it. It wasn't ever a bad thing. And yeah, it was just as soon as I knew how to and I had a better idea of how to make that happen, I started doing it and I really enjoyed it. What would you do differently if you knew nobody? Oh, nope, skipping ahead. If the average human lifespan was 40 years, how would you live your life differently? I would probably just be a little bit more focused. Like, I would want to be getting things done faster than I am now. As I am now, like, I have a direction that I'm working toward, but I'm kind of just letting life unfold. If I was already, like, over halfway through my life, or I knew that I would probably just be wanting things to happen at a faster pace than they are. How would you live your life differently if you knew nobody would judge you? I think one good thing that I really worked on over the last year has been, I'm trying to get through this, I'm trying not to spend so long, so I'm sorry if I'm talking fast. But one thing that I've worked on over the last year has really been to be more confident in my own skin and more comfortable with who I am, and not to let what other people think of me impact me so much. Now, I think it's always good to get other people's feedback, because sometimes when you're like, I'm just going to do what I want and nobody can judge me, you kind of go a little bit crazy. And that's not a good place to be. You always want to be within the realm of sanity, but it's good to make sure that you're not being afraid and you're overanalyzing and being overly self-conscious about what other people have to say about you or have to think about you. And that's something that I've really worked on. So I honestly think my life would not be that much different if I wasn't afraid. I think the biggest thing that would be different would be on YouTube. Because that's where I still do all of my overanalyzing and my worrying. And I think there would probably be a little bit more happiness there, because even though I work really hard not to let people's judgment get to me, it still just brings me down a little bit. So I would probably be a little bit less weighed down, if that makes sense. Is there any place you want to visit as much as I want Alaska? And do you know any foreign languages? Good reference. I really, really want to visit Europe specifically, or especially somewhere where I could cultivate a British accent, because I really just want to be British. Like, I understand that's not feasible, but if I could be, I would be British. I've already decided that I would love to be British. Do you know any foreign languages? Obviously, we've talked about the fact that I have a very, 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 very limited knowledge of Spanish, and I've studied ancient Hebrew and ancient Greek. It was required for my degree, and I'm never going to use it again, but I have studied those. And it's been a couple years since I've done those, so they're still rusty as well. What is your favorite thing about makeup? I like that, I'm switching hands back and forth. I'm hoping I'm not covering up the mic here. Okay. I like that makeup just completely transforms a person. And I think my favorite thing about makeup, take back what I just said because that's not entirely what I meant, is that you can use it kind of like a cute outfit. Like, when you put on a cute outfit, it kind of accentuates what you have and what's good about your figure. I think of makeup as the same way, that you put it on and you accentuate the features that you have that you really like. People always look at makeup, like, if you dress a certain way so that you cover up certain things about yourself, people just think you're a smart dresser. But if you do your makeup in a certain way to cover up certain things, people think that you're ashamed of yourself. And I honestly don't understand why those two things are different. I don't understand why people don't just think the same thing about, being a smart person at makeup. But that's how I see it. I see it as being something where you see that your eyes are pretty, or you like your eyelashes, or you like your cheekbones. So you play those things up because you find those things pretty about yourself and you want other people to see them too. So I think that's one thing that I like, is that you can bring other people's attention to things that are good about you. And I think the other thing is just self-expression. Everybody does their makeup differently, whether they wear it or whether they don't. And everybody in doing that says something about themselves. And I find that endlessly fascinating. So makeup is just, it's incredible for that. Are you artistic? I think so. My boyfriend saw that question and he was like, duh. So I'm going to go with his opinion. Yes. Yes, I am artistic. I don't think I'm very, only in certain ways. Like, I'm not very good at writing. I'm pretty terrible at writing, and at least creatively. And I'm pretty terrible at acting. But, you know, I can do makeup and hair, so it's just in certain things. Do you wear Uggs like all other girls in the winter, or do you wear other boots? I wear other boots. I wear riding boots and then ankle boots sometimes, but I don't wear Uggs. Okay, that's it. That's all my questions, and I am really afraid that this has been a really, really long video, so I'm going to go ahead and go. Sorry about yesterday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for sure. See you then. All right, bye.